Kyle, what's kind of the attitude in the building been like coming off what was, obviously a pretty tough loss, but, you've got 3 games still in front of you?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of great leaders on this team, and I think we're not going to let this negatively affect us. I think we're going to do a great job of, taking the positives away from the game and seeing what can we learn from this tough game, and just move forward.
Bronze in the back.
Kyle, taking a look at the film and everything like that, what was you see as was Florida's biggest problem offensively going against their defense? Did you see anything that stood out and say, gosh, we got to repair this, we got to correct this?
Well, I think we worked really, really hard last week in practice. I thought we had a great game plan and we prepared well. But at the end of the day, you still have to execute, and I think at times we struggled on little things like the little penalties here and there. I think we kind of shot ourselves on the foot every now and then. And I think if we can just execute better and play more consistent, then I think we can play with anybody in the country.
After the tough loss, some players already kind of gotten everybody together and said, let's hold this thing together. Let's respond well to it.
Yeah, for sure. That was one of the things Coach Mullen was preaching. We still have a lot to play for. We still do have a shot at the SEC East title. But none of that matters if we don't take care of our business and go 1-0 every week from here on out. And that's our biggest focus right now.
Hey, Kyle, you have some team-wise on offense, had a couple of miscommunication issues. What do you attribute that to? What happened in that game? Because it seemed like it was a little bit uncharacteristic.
Yeah, like I said, I thought we prepared really well and had a great game plan, but those things happen every now and then, with miscommunication, like you said. And there's nothing we can do about it now, but just moving forward, we can do our best to make sure that stuff doesn't happen again, because obviously we let it get the best of us at certain times in the game, and if we can cut those out, then I think it will be really hard to stop.
Yes, following up on that, so when you get off schedule like that, it just kind of throws everything off on the offensive side?
Yeah, it's not the ideal situation you want to be in, and just with the false starts, and we can't have things like breaking the huddle with 12 people. And like I said, we just got to do a better job of getting rid of those little things that keep shooting ourselves in the foot. And if we can cut those out, then I think we'll continue to get better every single week.
So Dan was talking about just the number of plays you ran or were unable to run. How frustrating is that, knowing you can't get to certain parts of the game plan? He said you guys have like 90 plays, could have 100 and some plays for a game.
It's a little frustrating, but there's nothing you can do about it. You can only control what you can control, and I think this team does a great job of just focusing on a play-by-play basis and just not worrying about things that we can't control, like running the amount of plays we wanted to, and just honing in on one play at a time. And I think that's one thing that's special about this team.
Bronze in the back.
You and Freddie Swain seem to have a good connection going. Is that just something that's just kind of developed over there, or do y'all spend extra time working together, or what?
I spend extra time with all the receivers on our team, and I think Freddie's a special talent, and he does a great job of getting open. And I think there is a good connection there between me and him, and I know when he's got a good matchup that he's going to get open, and I know I can trust him with the ball.
Going back to some of the things you said, just need better attention and need to fix up. The 2 sacks, were those scramble plays you just had been able to make in the past? Does that just come with more feel for the game? What happened on those?
Yeah, obviously I got to get rid of the ball. I take 100% responsibility. That's, I've been playing football my whole life, and I know that's not something you need to be. You can't take 20-yard sacks or whatever it was, and I think just moving forward, it just goes back to the little things like sacks, penalties. We can't have that. We have to be, if we can cut those out, we'll be able to play with anybody in the country.
How different is a game like Saturdays where you guys really only had 7 possessions, just in terms of being able to kind of get into a rhythm?
Well, yeah, I know, Georgia's really good at running the ball, and they're great up front, and I know if they can get the run game going, then the game's obviously going to get a lot shorter. And for us moving forward, we just have to do a better job of taking advantage of our opportunities because, we're very explosive on offense, and I know people probably want to take the ball out of our hands as much as they can, and we just have to do a better job of, like I said, taking advantage of every time we're on the field.
Was that a game that kind of showed you what Dan's been talking about with once you get into SEC play, kind of the margin for error shrinks?
Yeah, I think he's always preached that ever since he's gotten here. And, obviously most of the games we've been playing this year in the SEC have had a lot of times where a little margin for error can completely change a game, and I've definitely seen that ever since I've been playing. But yeah, it does go to show you, and especially games like this, that those little things can go a long way.
I mean, obviously you guys just love playing football, and that's kind of the underlying deal with the whole thing. I mean, the playoff, et cetera, we understand, but how just excited are you to just get back out there today? I mean, Dan talked about just being a competitor and what that kind of means.
Yeah, this team is full of great leaders and great competitors, and we all love the game of football. And like I said before, there's still a lot to play for, and I know we're going to be ready to go come practice today, and we're just going to do our best to keep on improving like we have been every week so far. There's been things that we've been improving on a week-to-week basis, and we just want to keep that going.
What was the attitude kind of yesterday among the team?
Obviously, it was, a heartbreaking loss because we don't have control of the East anymore, and if we won, then we obviously would. But like I said, Mullen did preach to us. There's still a lot to play for, and there's a lot of great guys on this team, and we're going to stay together, and we're just going to continue to get better every week.
Are you the type that after a tough game like this that you sit and stare at the ceiling and replay the game over and over and over again? And if you do, at what point in time do you cut it out and start focusing on what's next?
Yeah, win or loss, as this is another thing Coach Mullen preaches to us is win or loss. Come Monday, you got a new opponent, and the last week has no bearing on the next week. And yesterday was kind of our time to reflect on that game, but Monday is now time to get rid of whatever happened in the past we can't control, and just move forward from here on out.
How tough is that to do that, though, to just say, boom, this is over, that's past?
I don't think it's that tough. I think we have a lot of very mature guys on our team, and we've been able to do that for every game this season, and I'm sure we'll be just fine.
We'll wrap it up with Cassie.
What have you seen from Vanderbilt, just from what you've been able to peek at so far?
They have a lot of great athletes. They're going to do a lot of things on defense, but I think we're going to put together a great game plan. Coach Mullen's a great mind, and I think we're going to do a great job of bouncing back this week.
The SEC East title is technically still up for grabs. How much do you start keeping an eye just on some of those other games, maybe Georgia's games in particular?
Obviously, like when I say we have a lot to play for, we still know we have a shot at SEC East. But like I said, at the end of the day, none of it matters if we don't go 1-0 every week. So, we have a lot of great guys on this team, and we're going to do a great job of focusing on 1 week at a time, and we're trying to do our best to take care of business against Vanderbilt this week.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Scott.